We all know that classic picture of winter bliss. Your cat, curled up in a perfect patch of sun or purring by the fire, totally safe from the nasty weather outside. You've made a cozy sanctuary, a warm little haven from the ice and snow. But what if I told you that the biggest winter threat to your cat isn't the cold at all? What if I told it all? What if a sweet-tasting, odorless killer is lurking in your garage right now? A liquid so deadly that less than a single teaspoon can be fatal. You think your cat is just getting cozy for the season, but you might be making a few critical mistakes, both inside and out, that are putting their life on the line. And we're not just talking about a little chill. We're talking about permanent kidney failure, painful burns, and horrific accidents. This isn't about scaring you. It's about making you aware, because the most common winter dangers are the ones we just don't see coming. We're about to uncover the most lethal outdoor hazards and the subtle indoor mistakes you might be making right now. So stick with me, because what you learn in the next few minutes could save your cat's life. Let's head outside first, where the dangers are fast and serious. The number one thing you absolutely have to know about is that sweet-tasting killer, antifreeze. Most antifreeze contains a chemical called ethylene glycol, which is incredibly poisonous to cats. The real danger here is that it apparently smells and tastes sweet, inviting a curious cat to take a few licks from a small puddle on the garage floor. But for an average-sized cat, just 1 teaspoon is a lethal dose. Some vets report that just walking through a spill and licking their paws clean is enough to cause a fetal poisoning. And this poison acts terrifyingly fast. Stage 1 symptoms can show up in as little as 30 minutes and look a lot like your cat is drunk. They might vomit, stumble around, or seem really tired and out of it. You might also see them drinking a ton of water and urinating way more than usual. Then comes stage 2, between 12 and 24 hours later, where your cat might suddenly seem like they're getting better. This is a tragic illusion. On the inside, the poison is forming into sharp crystals that are causing irreversible kidney damage. Stage 3 is acute kidney failure, which leads to seizures, a coma, and almost certain death. The prognosis is absolutely horrific, with a fatality rate as high as 97% if treatment doesn't start almost immediately. If you even think your cat has touched antifreeze, it is a 5-alarm fire medical emergency. Don't wait for symptoms to show up. Get them to a vet right now. Waiting even a few hours can mean the difference between life and death. So, what can you do? First, become obsessed with checking for leaks. Check under your car for any drips from the radiator and clean up spills immediately, no matter how tiny. Make sure your antifreeze jugs are sealed tight and stored far out of reach. Second, look into switching to a propylene glycol-based antifreeze. It's significantly less toxic, though it's still not something you want your cat getting into. The second major outdoor threat is the car engine itself. On a cold day, a car engine that was recently running is like a 5-star resort for a neighborhood cat. It's warm, it's sheltered, and it's an irresistible spot to curl up for a nap. They'll climb right up into the wheel wells or against the engine block, totally hidden. Starting a car with a cat sleeping inside leads to unimaginable injuries from the fan belt and engine parts, severe burns, or death. And this happens way more often than you'd think. Luckily, the fix is so simple and costs you nothing. Before you start your car, every single time, make some noise. Bang on the hood a few times. Honk the horn. Just give any hidden passenger a chance to wake up and get out. It's a good idea to take a quick peek under the car and around the tires too. This 2-second habit has saved countless lives. Finally, watch out for the de-icing salts and grits on sidewalks and roads. These chemicals can be rough on the sensitive pads of your cat's paws, causing them to crack and get irritated. Even worse, when your cat licks their paws clean, they can ingest these chemicals, leading to an upset stomach, lethargy, and in serious cases, even kidney damage. A great habit to start is gently wiping your cat's paws, legs, and belly with a damp cloth every time they come inside to get that residue off. Alright, let's move inside. You've brought your cat in, away from the cold engines and the antifreeze. They're safe now, right? Well, not exactly. One of the most surprising dangers your cat faces in the winter is actually dehydration. I know dehydration sounds like a summer problem, but our indoor heating creates a huge risk. Central heat, space heaters, and fireplaces all crank out incredibly dry air. That dry environment causes moisture to evaporate from your cat's body every time they breathe, just like it makes our own skin and lips feel chapped. What many of us don't realize is that our cat's water needs can actually go up during the winter. The problem is cats naturally have a very low thirst drive. They evolved from desert animals who got most of their moisture from their prey. Chronic dehydration, even if it's low grade, puts a ton of stress on their kidneys and can lead to serious problems like urinary tract infections and painful bladder crystals or stones. So, how do you trick your cat into drinking more? First, one of the best things you can do is boost their intake of wet food. Canned food has a much higher moisture content than dry kibble and is an amazing way to sneak more water into their diet. Second, make water more interesting. A lot of cats are fascinated by moving water, so a cat water fountain can be a game changer. Try placing a few water bowls or fountains around the house, but just be sure you don't put them right next to a heater, which can warm the water up to a gross temperature. Also, try to keep the water out of a chilly part of the house, like a cold basement, because nobody likes drinking ice-cold water when they're already cold. Your cat can't tell you they're thirsty, so it's on you to make staying hydrated as easy as possible. Another mistake we make, and always with the best intentions, is how we try to keep them warm. We see our cat shivering a little, and our first instinct is to make them as cozy as possible, but this can really backfire. Cats are heat-seeking missiles, but they aren't always smart about it. They'll curl up way too close to a space heater, a radiator, or the glass of a fireplace. Because their fur insulates them, they might not feel their skin getting burned until it's too late, leading to nasty thermal burns. Never leave a space heater on unattended, and always use a sturdy screen in front of a fireplace. There are even special radiator beds designed for cats that let them enjoy the warmth safely without direct contact. All that dry heat also strips the natural, protective oils from their skin and coat, which can cause dandruff, itchy skin, and general discomfort. If you notice your cat seems extra flaky in the winter, the dry air is almost certainly the reason. Running a humidifier in the room where your cat hangs out the most can do wonders for their skin and their respiratory health. Now let's bust the winter coat myth. You see your cat looking extra fluffy and think, great, they've bulked up for winter. While their coat might get a bit thicker, for a cat that lives exclusively indoors, that extra fluff is often just fat. With shorter days and less excitement happening, indoor cats tend to get pretty lazy in the winter. They sleep more and play less, but we often keep feeding them the same amount, or even more, thinking they need extra calories to stay warm. A cat living in a temperature-controlled house absolutely does not need more food. That lack of activity combined with the same calorie intake is a perfect recipe for weight gain, which opens the door to obesity, diabetes, and extra stress on their joints. Don't up their food portions just because it's cold outside. Instead, up their activity. Get them excited with interactive toys, laser pointers, and feather wands. Try using puzzle feeders to make them hunt for their kibble. Keeping them active will help them maintain a healthy weight, stimulate their mind, and generate real warmth through muscle activity, not just a layer of fat. This last point is one of the most overlooked and, frankly, heartbreaking dangers, especially if you have an older cat. Just like with people, cold and damp weather can make arthritis pain so much worse. Your senior cat could be suffering in silence, and you might just think they're getting lazy or slowing down with age. Cats are absolute masters at hiding pain. It's a survival instinct. An arthritic cat won't usually cry out or limp dramatically. Instead, their pain shows up in small, subtle changes in behavior. Are they a little more reluctant to jump onto the couch? Do they hesitate at the bottom of the stairs? Have they stopped grooming their back because it's hard to reach? Are they sleeping more, or do they get grumpy when you try to pet them? These aren't just signs of your cat slowing down. They are classic red flags for chronic pain. When the temperature drops, that pain can flare up. It's our job to notice these quiet clues and help them. A low-voltage heated orthopedic bed can be a miracle worker, soothing their stiff joints with gentle, consistent warmth. Make sure their food, water, and litter box are all on one floor so they don't have to tackle painful stairs. You can also talk to your vet about joint supplements like glucosamine or even pain medication that can dramatically improve their quality of life during the colder months. When you see your cat curled up in a tight little ball, remember it's not always just them being cute. Sometimes it's a desperate attempt to find a position that doesn't hurt. Taking care of a cat in the winter is so much more than just keeping them inside. It is about being their protector and looking out for the threats they can't see, the sweet poison in the garage, the dry air from the heater, and the silent ache in their joints. Your cat depends on you, and only you, to protect them from dangers they can't possibly understand. They can't tell you they licked something weird. They can't tell you they're thirsty. And they can't tell you that their joints ache. It's up to us to be their voice. So, I have a challenge for you. Right now, go take a look in your garage and make sure your antifreeze is locked up tight. The next time you head out, just give the hood of your car a good knock. And tonight, spend a few minutes just watching your cat move around. Are they really as comfortable as you think? If you learned something new here, please give this a thumbs up and share it with every cat owner you know. You never know whose life you might save. And for more tips to keep your pets safe and happy, make sure you subscribe. Thanks for watching, and for being the amazing owner your cat deserves.